on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, Refugio County authorities catch up with a stolen vehicle out of Miami. And in Hallettsville, police catch up with a suspect wanted on a parole violation, and the suspect faces a drug charge. Also, authorities continue to closely monitor the wreckage of a massive fiery train derailment in Ohio.
All right, we're looking at some boundaries headed our way, bringing us some rain showers as well as an eventual cool down. We'll talk all about it.
We check out a local scrimmage where one athlete was carted off the field. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain. Today is the 7th day of February 2023. The time is now 6:31 on your Tuesday morning, and on this day in 1940, the animated film Pinocchio made its premiere. I remember I had Pinocchio I had a vinyl, actually a record telling the story with a picture book. Let's go ahead and turn to First Word Storm team meteorologist Howie Gordon. Howie, did you watch the animated film Pinocchio?
I've seen it many times. He lied a lot and his nose got really, really long. So didn't he become truthful, then his nose shrank? I forgot.
I can't remember.
Me neither.
I just remember he got swallowed by a whale and he hung out with some donkeys. He turned into a donkey almost.
Really?
Because he was drinking.
Okay. Alcohol?
A lot of cautionary tales there.
Cautionary tales. All right. Well.
And there's a new Pinocchio coming out.
Is it really? We got to see that one. All right, Pinocchio. Thank you for everything, all your insight. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little weather. My clickers here, they're just not working, so I will leave the screen. Again, to some of your guys' satisfaction. And I'm joking with you. All right, here's what we have here. So moisture moving in. We got some cloud cover now. And eventually, this cloud cover, we're going to get some lift. We got upper level favorable dynamics. We can see some showers later today. It can last into tomorrow before a boundary pushes through the area. Temperature-wise, though, yes, on the warm side, we got that nice flow out of the southeast, out of the Gulf. Warm, moist air, keeping temperatures above average. Remember, our average high is about 68, and here we are sitting at 66, 67, 68, 69 at 6:33 in the morning. Okay, so getting out the door for school, for work. Here is what we have. About 66 degrees. Clouds moving in later today now. Eventually, though, we do warm up very nicely, even more. Back into the mid-70s. Rain chances, though, on the increase. That'll start to cool us down a little bit. Clouds moving in and then some of that rain to cool us down. But overall, looking warm, but things are about to change. We'll talk more about it, Carolina.
Thank you, Howie. Continuing coverage on that deadly quake in Turkey and Syria. A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit both countries early Monday. At least 284 people were killed in 7 Turkish provinces. Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Agency reports thousands of people were hurt. The overall death toll in Monday's quake in Turkey and Syria is more than 500 people. In Syria, at least 237 people were killed and 639 were hurt. The Turkish vice president says more than 1,700 buildings were damaged across 10 Turkish cities. Rescue workers and residents search for survivors underneath the rubble of crushed buildings in multiple cities. It took jurors 1 hour to sentence a man in the 2018 murder of a 4-year-old boy. Jurors sentenced Robert Satterfield to death in the murder of 4-year-old Rayshawn Baby Ray Hudson Jr. Hudson Jr. was killed in Wharton County in June of 2018. Satterfield was found guilty in his murder last week. That reported by the El Campo Leader News. Sentencing came just days after the guilty verdict. Lavaca County Sheriff's Office worked a bailout off Lavaca County Road 14 near the Navidad River. The vehicle is a silver Ford F-250 with a black fuel tank. The people in the vehicle ran off and are thought to be in the area. The total number of people is unknown. New details overnight about that Chinese spy balloon shot down by the U.S. military over the weekend. The incident has revealed troubling gaps in U.S. intelligence gathering, raising concerns in Washington.
This morning, the surveillance balloon shot down over the U.S. is helping reveal new information about China's spy program. Officials say the 200-foot-tall balloon had propellers and a rudder, along with a self-destruct capability that went unused. A senior U.S. official says similar Chinese spy balloons have flown over more than 40 countries, with China relying on people mistaking them for weather balloons. The official tells ABC News the Chinese realize that between satellites and the normal altitude of airplanes, there's an area where you can gather intel. This has exposed gaps in our intelligence. Perhaps most concerning, officials say 4 previous balloon incidents in the U.S. in recent years, dating back to the Trump administration, initially went undetected. The White House eventually briefed Congress about them in August.
There have been at least 4 incursions in recent years. They were very different. They were off the coast of the U.S. and very brief. But what's frightening about this is the U.S. military had no idea those incursions were happening until afterwards.
On Saturday, a fighter jet fired a missile at the balloon over the Atlantic, leaving a 7-mile debris field off the South Carolina coast. Unmanned underwater vehicles are being used to search for wreckage. A source says U.S. officials are hopeful the entire payload will be recovered, including the technology bay, which will be pieced back together enough to understand its full operational potential. The balloon was first spotted over Alaska, then passed over sensitive military installations through Montana, the plains in the Midwest, until reaching the East Coast. The Pentagon said shooting the balloon down over land would risk lives on the ground. But critics accuse the White House of not being prepared.
They should have been prepared either to intercept, to prevent, to take it down, or to try to capture the balloon so they could capture the equipment that's there.
A senior U.S. official says a certain group inside the Chinese army controlled the balloon. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, New York.
Smoke continued to rise from the side of the derailed train in Ohio. Residents inside that zone were told to evacuate Saturday. However, some defied that order and chose not to leave. The area remains off limits. Authorities in the area say efforts are continuing to stabilize the 10 tank cars that contained hazardous materials, including 5 carrying a chemical called vinyl chloride. The train derailed Friday night, sparking a large fire and several small explosions. 3 people were on the train at that time, but no one was hurt. Federal investigators have already started to probe the cause of the crash. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office notified the Refugio County Sheriff's Office of a stolen vehicle that was southbound on U.S. Highway 77. The vehicle was showing Florida license plates. Refugio County Sheriff deputies confirmed through the Miami-Dade police the vehicle was stolen. The driver, a Cuban national, taken into custody and charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Monday morning, Hallettsville police took into custody a Hallettsville man who had an outstanding parole warrant for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. After further investigation, the man was found to be also in possession of methamphetamine. The man was booked into the Lavaca County Jail. A study by the CDC shows that the majority of Americans support a ban on selling tobacco products. A survey conducted in 2021 found out that more than 6,000 people, about 62% of adults, supported a policy prohibiting the sale of menthol cigarettes, and around 57% supported a policy prohibiting the sale of all tobacco products. The study also showed that a majority of adults supported retail policies aimed at preventing initiation, promoting quitting, and reducing tobacco-related disparities. All right, get your cell phone and scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts, vote on our viewer poll, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app. Submit those news, tips, and photos. The time is now 6:39 on your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. State Senator for District 18, Lois Kolkhorst, is the new sponsor for a bill related to online sports betting.
I'm ABC's Faith Abube on Capitol Hill. The stage is set for President Biden's State of the Union address. What to expect when he speaks tonight to address the country, and a joint session of Congress coming up.
Looking at eventually a cool down and some showers here in the Crossroads. We'll talk more about it pretty soon.
Do you have questions about changes in the tax code? Ask Alexander and Mark, Victoria's full-time tax professionals. Fast, friendly service for all your tax needs. Alexander and Mark, CPAs, 3205 East Mockingbird, your year-round tax professionals.
Have you been told you have to live with your wound? There is hope at PAM Outpatient Wound Care. At PAM Outpatient Wound Care Clinic, you'll find the latest technology and the most committed and caring professionals dedicated to your wound healing. Our experienced wound healing experts and multidisciplinary team specialize in preventing amputation and preserving limbs.
I began hyperbarics here. I'm walking and have the leg, which is the best part.
Come see us at PAM Outpatient Wound Care, where healing starts here.
Every day we help kids navigate the realities of the world and make healthy, lifelong choices. Kids learn about alcohol, tobacco, and drugs in lots of ways, often from friends and siblings. While kids may hear lots of harmful information, parents do play a huge role in helping them make the right decision. Talking to your child, sitting down to a family meal at night just to discuss how their day went, or encouraging extracurricular activities can make all the difference.
It's tax time, and for years, Victoria has trusted Alexander and Mark. Get your refund fast, do electronic filing, or file an extension. Alexander and Mark can do it all. Alexander and Mark, CPAs at 3205 East Mockingbird.
All right, welcome back. We'll start off in Cuero. What do we have going on? Well, we have clouds on the rise as moisture moves into the area, but still temperature-wise, very much on the comfy and even the warm above average realm. Look at this, 75 again later this by noon. Then later on today, we'll still stay in the mid-70s, but some showers could start to cool us down. We could see rain chances increasing maybe 30 to 40%. Then overnight, though, going up to about 80%. So yeah, rain chances definitely on the rise. Winds really starting to calm as that as high pressure started to pull away and that boundary started to move closer. Yeah, we were gusting away to 30, 35 miles per hour yesterday. Since then, winds right now only about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but hey, we can still see some 25 mile per hour gusts later on today. 2 points on the rise. That moisture is pushing in from the Gulf, but eventually when this boundary pushes through sometime tomorrow, we'll start to see these numbers go down as well. And we will take another look at weather coming up in just a few minutes, Carolina.
Thank you, Howie. The Cuero Gobblers and East Titans took it to the diamond. Sports Director Gino Perez has that and more in sports.
At the Crossroads, the Victoria East Titans traveled down to Cuero to take on the Gobblers on the ball diamond. Things would get scary early on as one of the Titans was hit with a pitch in the head and he was carted off the field, but he waved to the fans, acknowledging that he is okay. The Gobblers and Titans both were able to get quality at bats, good pitching outings, and it was a good scrimmage overall for both teams. There were some mishaps, but it is expected for the first outing of the season. UHV men's golf team is competing in the Jack Brown Memorial Tournament, and they're in prime position to make a run. The Jaguars are sitting in third place after round one of the tournament. The UHV women's golf team is on the opposite side of the spectrum, coming in at 11th place after day one. Both teams will look to improve today in the final day of the tournament. That is your 25 Sports Now.
We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone, just search Crossroads Today. President Biden is putting the final touches on a State of the Union address, one of the biggest speeches of his presidency, set to be delivered before a joint session of Congress tonight. It comes amid a standoff with Republicans over raising the nation's debt ceiling, and as polls show, a majority of Americans do not approve of the job he's doing as president.
Morning, weeks of preparations for President Biden's State of the Union address winding down at the White House. The president said to be incredibly optimistic ahead of the annual speech.
I talk to the American people and let them know the state of affairs, what's going on.
President Biden is expected to tout a strong American economy on the heels of a better than expected jobs report, making the case that his policies have helped boost job growth, reducing the unemployment rate to the lowest level in 53 years.
The president uniquely understands that that we have a lot more work to do when it comes to the economy.
But the latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows, despite the administration's positive outlook, voters are concerned about the economy. 4 out of 10 Americans say they feel worse off financially since President Biden took office.
I think it's important we not over-index on any one poll, just like, we here don't over-index on any one economic indicator. When the president took office, the economy was in free fall, main streets were shuttered, millions didn't have a job.
The president is expected to not only highlight his accomplishments, but also call for the kind of unity that led to the bipartisan infrastructure law and Inflation Reduction Act. But he faces an uphill battle as he navigates a divided Congress, with a Republican House majority ready to question him about everything from the growing tensions with China, decisions on Ukraine, and the effort to raise the nation's debt ceiling.
The runaway spending of the last few years, it's over. No blank checks.
And we're hearing there'll be a number of special guests at tonight's State of the Union address, including the parents of Tyree Nichols, the man who was beaten to death by Memphis police, and Bono for his work on poverty and AIDS. Faith Abube, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
State Senator District 18 Lois Clokhorst is the new sponsor for a bill for legalizing online sports betting in Texas. The Texas Tribune reports the previous sports betting bill filed in the last legislative session went nowhere in the GOP-led Senate. The legislation would ask voters to decide in a November election whether they want to legalize mobile sports betting or wagering on games online. Chief Appraiser John Halliburton with the Victoria Central Appraisal District is retiring after 44 years of service. Halliburton served as Chief Appraiser for more than 17 years. The Board of Directors has selected Carrie Wycliffe as Interim Chief Appraiser. She joined the Appraisal District in 2015. The search for a new Chief Appraiser is underway. Halliburton's last day is March 8th. The time is now 6:47 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come, BP's profit has more than doubled.
Do you have pain, numbness, or burning in your hands or feet?
I got my flexibility back. Pain is gone.
Prickling pain often caused by peripheral neuropathy?
The Zappo feeling has gone away and there's no pain.
Are you suffering from chronic knee pain and stiffness? Or have you been told that knee surgery is your only option?
Now that I've had this treatment and I can walk a little bit, I feel like I got my life back.
Call Neurogenics now. Our physician-run medical offices in Victoria are helping our Texas patients move on from their chronic knee pain and their pain and numbness from peripheral neuropathy without surgery and without medications. Our treatments are covered by Medicare and most insurance.
You can move around, you can go back to what you used to do.
To get relief just for my toes, it makes me feel like $1 million.
Call Neurogenics now. Our unique non-drug, non-surgical, and non-chiropractic treatment program is helping our Texas patients end their chronic knee pain and peripheral neuropathy pain. Call us now. Neurogenics is standing by to help you move on from the pain.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a consumer warning when using Facebook Marketplace.
I was getting very legitimate looking emails.
Sam Silverman posted pants for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and she says a buyer agreed to the price, and then what looked like official correspondence from the payment app Zelle arrived in Silverman's inbox. The email said she needed to establish a Zelle business account and make a $300 initial transfer to the buyer, who would then credit her back the difference. Sam says the stranger never sent back the money.
We've had reports on our scam tracker, items not being what they're supposed to be. In some cases, people sometimes don't feel safe selling and buying in such a public forum.
And coming up at 7 a.m., if you use Facebook Marketplace, we'll have the expert tips you need to keep you and your money safe. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, New York.
right, we'll start off with our dew points. Yes, on the high side. Eventually, though, when that frontal passage comes through, these will get knocked down. Here's our future tracker. Here's what we're looking at. So there's a cold front headed our way. We got moisture pushing in from the Gulf. This all meets up, and we're looking at some showers, maybe even some heavy showers, maybe even some strong storms. I'll continue to monitor what is going on. Originally, I thought this boundary was going to push through the area maybe by about 7, 8, 9 in the morning on Wednesdays. Today is still Tuesday, but I think it's going to linger, maybe not pushing through the area until about Wednesday afternoon. When that happens, and high pressure will follow back in, cooler, dry air will move in to the crossroads. We'll see some drier times, but then another boundary, you see it off there to the northwest, that's going to come through. What is that going to do? That's going to knock our temperatures down even further for some temperatures getting stuck maybe in the 50s for highs. But we'll take another look at weather coming up in just a moment.
BP's profit has more than doubled. The company reported a record profit of $28 billion for 2022, lifted by the surge in energy prices since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While boosting its dividend is a sign of confidence as it scaled back plans to reduce oil and gas output by 2030. The company's announcement follows similar reports from rivals Shell, ExxonMobil, and Chevron last week. BP's fourth quarter underlying replacement cost profit reached $4.8 billion. That compared with $4 billion a year earlier and $8.2 billion in the third quarter of 2022. Leading us to your viewer poll. Are you feeling the pain at the pump? All right, let's take a look. 78% of you say yes, and 22% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote and scan the QR code, or scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. Is mommy brain a real thing? A team of scientists say that suggesting motherhood is in itself associated with a decline in cognitive abilities may both be wrong and unfair to moms and their brains. The article was published Monday in the journal JAMA Neurology. The three authors say the few studies that it has tried to investigate whether moms actually suffer from memory loss during pregnancy and postpartum have failed to find significant differences in the abilities of women who have kids and women without kids. But ask new moms. 8 out of 10 say they've experienced the memory loss and brain fog popularly characterized as mommy brain, pregnancy brain, or momnesia. So why the discrepancy? It may be the peace and quiet of the labs where the studies are performed have taken them out of a state of mommy brain. Or maybe scientists are simply asking the wrong questions. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. We have the latest on a public meeting for Formosa Plastics' proposed project.
The Victoria Television Group is proud to honor our veterans, and we need your entries. Each month, we'll acknowledge a new veteran to salute. To submit, go to the Military Hero page on crossroadstoday.com and help us recognize the deserving servicemen and women in our community.
LeBron James, Michael Strahan.
You're on the verge of breaking one of the most iconic records in sports. What does that mean to you?
The morning after LeBron makes history. See The Interview with LeBron.
Oh my goodness.
Only on Good Morning America.
Before you buy a home,
before you sell a home,
before you make any home improvements, call USA Foundation Repair.
A thorough and honest inspection is what you get from USA Foundation Repair.
We work with realtors and contractors on the front line every day doing inspections and repairs. Don't get taken to the train station. Get the USA Foundation Repair brand of approval. Call us today for an honest inspection.
And now for today's question of the day. What is the rarest element on Earth? Okay, a lot of y'all got this right. The answer is astatine. All right, and it's the number 85, and it's a natural occurring element that occurs only as the decay product of various heavier elements. All right, thank you for taking part in today's question of the day. A public meeting was held last week in Calhoun County to get comments on Formosa's plastic proposed project. Around 40 people attended the meeting, and they plan to install 4 new enclosed ground flares. The hearing was requested by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality on behalf of the San Antonio Bay Organization. A fundraiser has been established for the downtown Port Lavaca fire to help the property owners that suffered property damage. Pam Health asking the Crossroads community for donations as the war in Ukraine rages on. Pam Health asking the community's help for items such as bandages, medical supplies, baby products, diapers, toys for children, warm clothes, and the CEO says small things can change lives.
Raining here, and I can only imagine supply chains and all the disruption going on an ongoing basis. I feel like this is the least we can do.
Last year, Pam Health received 20,000 pounds and 500 boxes in support. The collection this year begins February 13th until the end of the month, and you can make your donation between 8 a.m. and noon at 2 Pam Health locations. They are located at 101 James Coleman Drive, and the other one is at 102 Medical Drive. Be sure to make sure your items are boxed and no weekend drop-offs are accepted. Pam Health is also hosting the Cupid Hustle 5K this Saturday. Registration opens at 8:30 a.m. The race starts at 9:30 a.m. for children and 10 a.m. for adults. The cost is $15 for children and $25 for adults. It takes place at the Pam Health North parking lot area at 102 Medical Drive. All monies raised goes to the American Heart Association to fight heart disease and stroke. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And let's go ahead and get a last look at our forecast with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon.
Thanks, Carolina. Okay, so what do we have going on today? Clouds moving in, moisture moving in, boundary headed our way from the northwest. That is going to bring us some showers. There's favorable upper level development. We got moisture colliding with moisture, creating some lift. That's bringing rain, and the energy the sun does provide, yeah, we could maybe see some thunderstorms. I'll keep an eye on all that. Then that boundary pushes through, we clear off, and then we dry off. Okay, marine forecast, small craft advisory. We're seeing waves occasionally at 8 feet, so please be careful out there on the waterway. 76 today, rain chances increase later on in the day, and then overnight, patchy fog, 80% chance of showers, winds gusting away, and for tomorrow, only a high of 62. That boundary starts to knock our temperatures down, and then our forecast for Victoria is we got a boundary Tuesday to Wednesday that knocks us down, and then, yeah, even another boundary comes through and knocks us down even further. Carolina?
Thank you, Howie, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your Tuesday. Come to crossroadstoday.com for more local news, weather, and sports. And join James, Don, Howie, Karina, and Gino today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Don't forget the pistachios.